howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Welcome to day 13 of spoiler season for the upcoming 3.19 Lake of Kalandra expansion. Yesterday was of course the big day, so if you missed that, I'm going to put some links down below in the description of this video and also up on screen during the last 20 seconds of it. One of them will be to my coverage of the Trickster overhaul. The other one will be to a past live stream where I spent about 3 hours discussing the patch notes with a whole bunch of people who were present in text chat as well. So there's a lot of different insights that'll be in that. Obviously, it's a very long video, and if you want to just look at the patch notes themselves, I'll link them down below as well. But with that out of the way, let's talk about today's news. Firstly, we got some more information about Exilecon 2023. So this is going to be the point next year where Path of Exile 2 moves from a distant dream to a very close reality. This is going to be hosted on the 29th and 30th of July next year, so just about a year from now. It's going to be in Auckland in New Zealand. I went to the 2019 version of Exilecon and it was a lot of fun. Tickets for the convention are going to go on sale in about 12.5 days after this video goes live. So the baseline tickets are going to be $230 American. The VIP tickets are going to be triple that, and the Ultra VIP tickets are going to be 9 times the price of a base ticket. The Ultra VIP tickets were a little bit cheaper last time, but they did sell out within about 5 minutes of going for sale. The VIP tickets sold out pretty quickly as well. If I recall correctly, they were sold out within an hour, and the regular tickets were available for a little while. Path of Exile has grown since then, and the convention center it's being held in has not grown since then. As a result, it may sell out quicker. So that's all the details. Link down below to the official announcement if you're interested in having a look at that. What I would suggest you do, you got 12.5 days until they go on sale. That's plenty of time to work out the cost, the total cost if you're going to commute to Auckland for it. For me in Australia, it's something like 500 or 600 Australian to get a flight to Auckland and back. So if I do decide to go, that'll be part of it. Then you got to factor in accommodation, and fair warning, Auckland is a fairly expensive city to get accommodation in. If you are someone like me that's okay with staying in cheap accommodation, like a backpacker hostel, you're still going to be paying $50 or $60 a night. And if you want your own room in a hotel, then you're going to be probably paying something like 200 American a night for that to stay in Auckland, and you should factor that in when you're deciding whether or not you want to go. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the 2 item-based posts that were made today. The first one is a leveling helmet Thrill Steel. This is really solid and it competes with Goldrum as a really powerful leveling unique. I don't think this is something you're going to wear late in the game at all, but it has a minimum level of 18 for a reason. This is not at the level of something like 7 League Step as a powerful leveling item, but it is at the level of Goldrum. And I expect this to be a pretty popular item to see equipped by characters who put it on during Act 2 and then don't take it off until they get to like Act 7, 8, 9, or even 10, at which point eventually they're going to want to have some real stats on their item instead. This allows you to drop Onslaught support if you are using that already and use a more damaging support gem in its place, and I think it will definitely be something that is widely used early in the game and then forgotten about at endgame. Next we have Soul Clasp, an Onyx Amulet that's being generated as a reward for the Lake of Kalandra expansion material. Now here you will be able to choose between 2 different versions of the same amulet. You'll notice they have exactly opposite stats to each other. You'll also notice if you look at these that they have 2 prefixes and 4 suffixes. Now that could mean a lot. That could mean that there's a bit of a change. Maybe they've decided to move critical strike chance from a suffix on an amulet to a prefix. Maybe there's been some fundamental changes in how rare items are generated in the game. We're going to have to find that out. It may just be that the items that are created as reward options during the Kalandra content are outside the normal rules for rare item generation. Maybe they are able to have 2 prefixes, 4 suffixes in general. Maybe they're able to have 4 prefixes, 2 suffixes. And maybe some mods are flipped from whether they're considered a prefix or a suffix by virtue of being chosen to be the negative mod. One thing that's important to note is that it does look like half the mods round up are positive, half the mods round down are negative on one of the items, and the other item is the opposite. So half rounded down be positive, half rounded up be negative. Don't know if that's always the case. I would strongly suspect that it is. Most importantly though with these items is that they go far beyond the normal limits of what can roll on an item. You'll notice that 157 to maximum life. That seems to be double what can normally roll on an amulet. And from what we know about this system, the further away from the origin you are at the Lake of Kalandra, the higher this scaling factor will be. So if you do get good mods, then that will scale them up further. This will be interesting to play around with. We really need to test out this system in practice. My theory here is that GGG are experimenting with what happens if items that drop on the ground are allowed to be extraordinarily good for a league. That's my theory of what they're doing here. They want to see whether it ends up being more fun or not. When you've got items that drop on the ground that you cannot craft because they're mirrored items cannot be modified by pretty much anything in the game. Are those items compelling to wear if they're extraordinarily high statted or not? And they want to test that out so that they can make some design decisions about Path of Exile 2. And you should now have the links on the screen if you want to check out the Trickster information, or if you want to check out yesterday's live stream in full. If you're on PC, both will be visible now. If you're on mobile, I think only one of them will be visible, but you should be able to find the other one easily enough. May your Varlobs have interesting results.